Hi, I'm Jerry Pratt with Rocky Credit Union. I'm the marketing manager here, and I'd just like to talk a little bit about setting goals and celebrating victories today. Most of us have various goals, wanting to buy a vehicle or go on a certain trip, maybe even learn a certain language. But it's really important to have financial goals too. These goals give us direction with our actions, a vision, a purpose, and so often it's easy to spend money on everything that we encounter day to day. Whether it's going out to eat, maybe spending a little bit more on a vehicle than we normally would. The money can disappear very easily, but having a goal gives you purpose to why you need to save money. Purpose as in helping you decide whether you should spend money on something or not. And what it allows you to do is set out your path and your journey. Not having goals is sort of like being in a rowboat out in the middle of the ocean and you don't care where you're rowing to because you don't have any particular shore you want to land on. Whereas having the financial goal, whether it's for a trip or education or a vehicle, will actually allow you to direct and control your money. Short-term goals, financial goals, can include things like paying off debts, credit cards, student loans, or saving enough to be able to have cash on hand for a vacation, for example. You may also want to put some emergency funds away. Most financial advisors recommend having 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up so that if something happens, you don't have to dip into credit cards or borrowing from somebody. Long-term goals can include saving for a house down payment, investing for retirement, or buying a business if you're looking at that. These goals can take several years to many years to accomplish. The advantage of setting goals is it helps you decide what you're going to be doing with your money. There's so many things to spend money on that are necessary: gas, rent, insurance, and some that aren't necessary, like upgrading your TV, cell phone bills. The goal gives you purpose to your money so it doesn't disappear. You're directing it. Now, personally, I don't like being in debt. I don't like owing other people money or other businesses money because that means they sort of get to tell me what to do with my budget. I have to pay them. When I graduated college, I actually graduated without any debt. I met my wife about a year later, and we got married. And when I married her, I also married the student loan that she had. She had a fairly sizable student loan, and we started paying it down. But then we were expecting our first child, and we decided I better go back to university to finish university. And we hadn't made a goal of going to university and a plan to actually pay for it. So the result is when we went to university and we had our firstborn, and while I was going to school, we actually had to borrow a fair bit for student loans. The result is I graduated university, which is great. I appreciate it, and it's gotten me the career I have today. But between my wife's student loans and my student loans, they were rather large. And for the next several years, we carried that debt with us wherever we went. We were making payments of close to $700 a month with the interest rates that existed then, which meant when we needed a new vehicle, we could not buy a quality, longer-lasting vehicle. Our first 3 vehicles were all $3,000 each because with the debt payments that we had to make on the student loans, we could not afford anything better. The same thing when we had to get furniture. We bought the cheapest used furniture, nothing wrong with that, but we couldn't buy a better quality that would last longer because of the debt payments that we were constantly doing. It took a long time. At $700 a month, it was a big impact, and we carried it around for just over 7 years. Now, during the time, I worked 2 jobs. My wife babysat. So we made a lot of sacrifices just to be able to live with what we had and be able to pay off those debts. If I'd had a goal and a plan for going to university that allowed me to save a little bit of money while paying down the student loans that my wife had at the same time, it would have been nice so that we wouldn't have had to borrow as much. And it makes me now really appreciate having a goal and the plan on how to carry out that goal. It means something. Since then, we have done a lot better. We've saved better for buying a house, buying vehicles, and other large expenses. Now, we don't have everything saved up so that we can do it right out of pocket, but the goals and the planning have allowed us to be better prepared than we were. And it's a lot easier now, financially, than it was back then because we are better prepared. Now, I'm sharing this story. I don't want people feeling sorry for me, but I just hope nobody else has to go through. It was a stressful time. It was a stressful several years carrying around that debt and making those payments. And I hope nobody else has to learn the lesson the hard way, the way we did. Planning and preparation would have made it a lot easier on us. So, my advice is set goals, plan, prepare for them, and enjoy accomplishing them. If you've worked hard and you've saved for a vacation or saved for your vehicle, you deserve to enjoy them, and I hope you can.